What is up, everybody? Rogue Hero here. So, as you guys already know, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For 20 plus years, and in my 20 plus years, we've seen all kind of trends come and go into the game. I remember back in the early 2000s when players used to literally write their deck lists down on paper and sell them, because this was a time when there was no YouTube, and people who topped events wanted to make profit off of them topping events. So, selling stuff in general for this game is nothing new. Fast forward to the YouTube days, I even remember when players who topped events, not everybody, would tell people like myself, this is before I was YouTubing at the time, that hey, you want my deck profile? 20 bucks. They was literally charging people for the first place, second place, third place profile. A lot of you old school YouTubers who may remember this, let me know in the comment section down below for you guys that remember back in the day when people used to charge for deck profiles. Fast forward to 2025, the 2020 era, where people are starting to sell spreadsheets and deck lists and different things like that, with coaching that is. So one thing I've never agreed with was the whole spreadsheet aspect of it, and here's why. So spreadsheets to me, and the reason why I want to do this video, rather, before I even get into the discussion, was I just realized, even though I gave my opinion in different topic videos, I've never touched on a topic directly. And this is a spicy topic in the community about Yu-Gi-Oh! Spreadsheets, coaching, things like that. So make sure you guys watch the entire video to hear my full opinion, because a lot of y'all like to comment without actually listening to the video. And a few of y'all like to hate and talk shit, but I don't care. So, and keep in mind, this is coming from a player who has topped the YCS, who has top 8 at multiple regionals, who has day 2'd multiple YCSs and nationals. And on top of that, this is also coming from a player who does relatively well on a local level. I am what's considered an above average player. An average Yu-Gi-Oh player go to locals, may go X1. They might win locals here and there. But for the most part, when they go to big events, they're scrubbing out. So I'm not an average player. But in my opinion, and it's from the people whose circles I've rolled in, people who I walked in, paying for freaking spreadsheets, the idea of that, is freaking dumb. Now, if you guys pay for that, that's fine. That's your business. And this is no hate against people who sell spreadsheets. One of my boys, Yasin, he has a Christian spreadsheet that he always mentions. Shout outs to him. I'm nothing against him personally. But for players like myself and players who, to be frank, believe in the grind of Yu-Gi-Oh!, spreadsheet selling is not worth it to me. And here's why. A lot of those combos, you can figure them out on YouTube for free. Literally. Type in whatever deck you want, combo, Ryzel, Sharks, and there's going to be somebody from any OCG, TCG, there's going to be that one guy with like 300 subs or 30 subs even, that's uploading a Yugioh Pro replay showcasing said combos. Now, where a lot of these spreadsheets may benefit players in is showing people how to play through things like nib, hand traps, things like that, and etc. And that's great. But I just recently watched APS Amplifier, Paul from Team APS. I think that's his personal pet channel, so shout out to him. He touched on something that I really agree with, and I want to expand on that. It is, and he said pretty much he don't believe in a spreadsheet idea, because when you're buying a spreadsheet, yeah, you might learn the combos and learn how to deal with certain things within that combo. But at the same time, unless you're just playing consistently, you're not going to remember that combo when you're in said event, dealing with that scenario in person. Now, a lot of you guys might be robotic and have muscle memory and have fantastic memory to remember a spreadsheet like that and do well, but let's face the fact. If you guys are that smart, you guys have muscle memory, you guys have photographic memory, you wouldn't need a spreadsheet anyway. You guys had enough ego to say, hey, let me go ahead and pick the time and play test this deck and figure out the basic combos for the most part online and go from there and learn these scenarios myself. I'm gonna take me, for example. When I first picked up the Ryzel deck back in October when it first came out, obviously I went to YouTube for help. I watched a lot of OCG deck lists. They had the deck first. I believe they're the masters of the deck, and we're catching up. And obviously a lot of TCG players master deck as well. They got like people like Trip Gaming, Santoli, Ibra Wayne, things like that. People who actually know what they're doing, who play all day, every day, like how I preach, who do well. And it took me a while to learn the deck. Now, I ain't gonna lie, people might say, oh, the deck is helmet. No, it's not. The basic combos is helmet, but playing through scenarios for certain matchups is not helmet. And I don't believe a spreadsheet can help with that. Unless there's a spreadsheet with 1,001 different scenarios attached to it, and people sell it for 20 to 30 bucks, that's fine. But even then, you're not going to know that scenario unless you're going to. It's kind of like I put it as like martial arts and things like that. Because I used to do MMA in high school. I've never been a professional. You know, I learned in high school because we had a free club, and I did okay in MMA. And one thing I've learned about learning how to fight and things like that, and having my own street fights before that. It's not something you could make. Yeah, you know what to do, like okay, jab, cross, things like that. But until you actually get in that scenario, you don't know what you're gonna do. You might freeze up, you might overthink. When come down to Yu-Gi-Oh, you might have a brain fart, you might misplay. And the only way to get over those brain farts and misplays is by repetition, playing, learning, things like that. Especially most of us guys. Most men in general are hands-on learners. Now, I know a lot of you guys might be visual learners, but that's not most men. Most men play this game. Most men are hands-on learners. So while we can obviously see something and learn it visually, we mostly learn by using our hands and feeling and getting a good feel for it. Now, that's the spreadsheets, for example. I don't believe in spreadsheets. Like I said, if people want to buy it to support their favorite content creator, I'm all for that. And once again, I'm not against people selling it to their audience. I'm not a hater. However, at the same time, would I personally sell a spreadsheet? No. Would I have a spreadsheet behind, let's say, for example, a membership? Yeah, but once again, I'm still going to do my free combo videos just like the content creators I've mentioned, and you guys are happy with that, that's fine. But if you want to support me and anybody else, you can pay for the extra stuff. I think that's better than donating because people do love to support their favorite content creators. Like I brought up Yasin earlier. If you're a big fan of Yasin and you want to show him some love and support for his channel, buy his Christian spreadsheet. Pay him the $30 for that spreadsheet and just show love. You're gonna get good value. I'm pretty sure he put a lot of effort into it, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna learn something. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say you probably couldn't learn a lot of those combos without buying it. You can honestly probably it's gonna take you a time to learn it, but if you don't put in the work, you're not gonna do well anyway. Now, as far as spreadsheets are the way, like I said, that's my boy. I don't have anything against some person personally, and I don't have anything against somebody else selling spreadsheets, like packing all of them. They can do their thing. I just don't think it's worth buying for those reasons I just listed. Now, as far as coaching, now, a lot of you guys may not know who may be new to this channel, who may be viewing the channel now. I am one of the originators for Yu-Gi-Oh coaching. Back in 2017, I came up with the idea because people saw how good I was with the hero deck. A lot of my audience say, hey, Chris, we'll pay you to play test. I set it up, put it on my Facebook fan page. Some lame-ass hater shared it to Zodiac Duelist. I got roasted for the idea. And I found an odd following year, some of the same people who roasted me picked the idea up and everyone else dick riding them for it like they were the God's gift to Earth. I say all to say this. I'm an advocate of Yu-Gi-Oh coaching because it's completely different from spreadsheets. I don't know how anyone else does their coaching. I've heard rumors that people sometimes have people on a video call, tell them to shut up, and they do it lecture style. I don't think that's good coaching. Me personally, if I was a coach, if I was one of you guys' coach, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna play test, we're gonna go back and forth, we're gonna go over plays and things like that. And no, before somebody say this is not me pitching my coaching method and me pitching my coaching services, I don't have a Metafy account and I probably wouldn't set one up. I'll just do mine through PayPal. However, I think a proper Yu-Gi-Oh coach, if done correctly, can help people see results. Because in my idea, I would personally pay for a coach in order, because I don't really have a lot of people to play test with around me all the time. A lot of people I know work and things like that, and they don't have a variety of decks. But if there's a coach, for example, right, if you guys have a Yu-Gi-Oh coach, now I don't know what these coaches do, and that coach knows how to play Malice well, whatever meta decks well, and they know how to play Rogue decks well, and they're going to help you for those matchups prepping for an event, by all means, I think that's good value. Now, how much you're going to pay for it, that's up to you to decide as the consumer. I think something like that is awesome because I'm a personal trainer. I'm a licensed personal trainer. I haven't trained in a while. I actually got out of the field. My license actually expired. But I still was a NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine personal trainer. So I believe in coaching. That's something I really do believe in because just like personal training, yeah, you can learn how to work out online for free. But when you're having somebody there teaching you step by step and kind of holding your hand, but also guiding you, I think it could be very beneficial. So if you guys see somebody who you like, who's won events, top to ICSs, I don't think there's anything wrong with coaching if you have the money for it. But a player like myself, I don't have extra money to blow on coaching. A lot of my money goes towards my decks. A lot of my money goes towards gas, things like that. And I actually like the whole idea of just going to locals, grinding it out, and getting better at the game. But that is a way too. The only thing I can see coaching beneficial is for players who don't really have a locals, players who feel like, people at their locals can't help them get better because let's say if you got locals, but everyone at your locals is playing a rogue deck, and let's say you're playing a rogue deck and you need to play against meta decks for an event, I think paying for coaching will be really good, like a few sessions just to get freshened up for certain matchups and call it a day. Another alternative to coaching, which is what I've been doing recently, is just grinding Dueling Book. People really underestimate how good you can get by grinding Dueling Book. Up until YCS Houston, yeah, I didn't top the event. Make fun of me in the comments down below. But I still made day two, and that's a really good accomplishment. And I attribute my day two to grinding the hell out of Dueling Book, making top 200 rank, and just getting better with my Riser deck. I attribute that all to studying meta, watching YouTube videos from guys like Yasin, from people like Yugioh Smith, from a lot of pro players, seeing people like Tripp's deck profiles, and getting everyone's opinion on the deck I'm playing and making my own decision to see how good I can be with the deck. And I did fairly well. You know, I don't think I did anything wrong because if you guys watched my vlog, shameless plug, you will see all my losses was mainly due to time. It wasn't really due to my skill with deck. I had one brain fart, but I feel like everyone has a brain fart. It happens. It's a competitive game, things like that. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm in my mid-30s, so things happen. You know, brain farts happen, things like that. So with that being said, I attribute a lot of that to my grinding and things like that. So to wrap all this video up, I don't want this topic too long. I think spreadsheets is not worth it for me personally. Do I like the idea of spreadsheets? I get why they exist. Would I personally charge my audience $30 per spreadsheet? No. But do I feel like it's something wrong with people charging for spreadsheets? No. There's nothing wrong with people paywalling their information. Content creators, pro players, things like that don't owe you guys shit. They don't owe you guys shit because they grinded hard as hell to figure out these combos themselves. And hell, even if they didn't grind, even if they just did a little bit of research, going on YouTube, Rizal combos, 2025, whatever, or Malice combos, whatever, and they found the combos themselves and then just took those same combos they found, added it to a spreadsheet to sell to you guys, ain't nothing wrong with that because if you guys are too freaking lazy to look up the information yourself, then by all means, you can't get mad at people for selling the information if you want it right there instead of doing the research yourself. So that's how I feel about that. Ain't nothing wrong with people selling something. Like, it is what it is. Ain't nothing wrong with people paywalling information. No one owes you guys anything. Take that to heart. No one owes you guys anything. So with all that being said, man, tell me what you guys think about this topic in the comment section down below. Have you guys ever bought a spreadsheet? Let me know. I did see somebody at my locals with a spreadsheet one time. Not naming names, obviously. And I think it was one of the free spreadsheets. I don't think it was a paid spreadsheet. It was a Ritual Beast one. And I think that was one of the free ones. And it was a well put together thing. He told me, I asked him, like, how you get so good with your Ritual Beast deck? I'm like, you was playing Brandon Despia the last time we talked. And he showed me, like, yeah, I got the spreadsheet. I'm like, you bought this? He was like, man, this is a dope ass spreadsheet. I learned a lot of combos from it. I'm like, okay, hey, do your thing, dog. I ain't mad at you. I wouldn't have did it because I would have just did the research. But when I saw the spreadsheet, it was just a PDF file of a bunch of different combos and how to play through different scenarios. And he found that information very valuable. It allowed him to get a national invite. And it also allowed him to do really good at locals. And for some people, that's okay. So, like I said, man, there's nothing wrong with buying it technically. And there's nothing wrong with people selling information. But I hate when I read comment sections and seeing people and their feelings about people paywalling information when, in actuality, nigga, get off your lazy ass and do the research yourself and you'll be fine. I can do it. You can do it. I'm not the best player in the world. I think I'm past my prime when it comes to card games. I'm still really good. But at the end of the damn day, I think I'm doing better than a lot of people who buy spreadsheets and things. Just being honest. I actually have results and have done things in this game and other card games for that matter. But nevertheless, I'm tired of talking shit. It's your boy Rogue, and I'm signing out. Peace. See you guys in the next video.